Power Master. Technically it's an 860 one. Trying to get some alfalfa planted. Been working on this field for since last fall. Got some wheat planted. Went back in this spring, put sedan behind that. Got 2 cuttings off of it, and now we're trying to get this alfalfa in. Hopefully it's supposed to rain Tuesday, Wednesday next week. So hopefully it will. Get a few weeks in before it frosts. Give seed time to germinate. We don't have any real fancy equipment for this kind of stuff. This old equipment gets it done. Take care of it. Dad's got a 5-acre patch that he's drilled. I always seeded it twice in alfalfa. Once back when I was in high school. Actually, I think I was in middle school. And again about 6 years ago. And it's about to quit producing much. It does okay. We don't run a big farm anywhere. We just, I'm not even real sure how many head cows Dad's running right now. I think we've got about 50, maybe 60. I got, about 25 mama cows. I hope it happens to bring back to the farm from the rent place here for too long. Kind of late. Not dark yet. I'd say it's probably got 30 minutes before it starts up. And I'll get the whole thing covered. Dad's come down here and work on it a little more than one. Trying to make sure it's covered good. 6 acres. And I got 45 wet bales of wheat wrapped. I've got a total of 65 dam bales off of it. So, little 6-acre field's produced pretty good this year. I've been trying to put my own alfalfa stand for a while. So hopefully things will work out. Down here by the 4-wheeler and check, see how much seed we got in there, see if we got to add some. This video is probably not too exciting, but just kind of starting to try to make a few videos here and there. Looks like I need to do some rock picking. Oh, still got plenty in there. Don't know what year this old drill is, but it works. Works pretty good. Just trying to even out the seed. It kind of inconsistent. Got a little bit of old orchard grass seed that we don't even know if it's any good, but figured what the heck, throw it in the drill and see if it'll come up or not. It's looking pretty bad, but doesn't smell very good. It smells kind of like tobacco. A little fermented, I'd say. I know no fancy camera work here. Just using the Android Moto G stylus. So Probably won't do any editing because I don't really know how to do any of that. Just put this video on as kind of a short video. Just kind of wanted to put a video out there because a lot of people think you got to have nice fancy stuff to get fields planted and farming done, and you don't really. As long as you take care of old stuff, it'll keep going for a while. So, moon's looking pretty cool tonight. Nice clear skies. Pretty nice evening to be out. Wife said let's hope the kiddo this evening for dinner. So it's been a pretty rough month for me anyway. Lost my grandfather on the 30th of August, and yeah, he didn't really do a lot of farming, at least I don't remember it, but sure did all kinds of things with him. Was involved a whole lot with truck and tractor pulling in the state of Missouri, state fair. I don't know if anybody that's watched any of these videos is from anywhere around here, but if they are, they'll probably know who I'm talking about. And every time I'm in this field, oh, he used to come down here, and if he was at the house, visit for a little bit. He just lived across the road. My grandma's mom and dad owned this farm, and both of them passed. My mom and my uncle inherited it, so I leased it off of them, and I try to make it work. It's about 80 acres. Oh, this little front, what I call my front field here, I think we've measured it a couple times. It's close to 6 acres. The little Pomme de Terre River runs through my place here. A few years ago, when it got real dry here, we got on a drought assistance program with the USDA stuff. We got a well put in and water down at the barn. And sure makes a world of difference having that option, because the little chunk of where the river runs through this place just about dried all the way up. I used to rent about, there's a neighbor's got a few acres that meet up on my uncle's side of the property, and I used to lease it. There was, I think there's 15-20 acres there I leased it to. Just because I couldn't keep water gaps up one year, I just went and talked to him about it. He said, yeah. His whole farm was a little over, well, it was about 220, 25 acres. And there was just that little piece on this side of the road. The road frontage there. And he's since passed away. Before he passed away, when he kind of retired from farming, my dad started leasing the rest of the 200 acres. Ran cows over there for a while. And then, let's say he passed away, and his wife passed away, and one of his sons took it over and decided he'd run some cows on it. So now we don't have near as much leased ground as we used to have. So we kind of try to move cows around as much as we can. I'm running said, there's 6 acres here that's fenced off. I've got what used to be a good brome field across the river on top of the hill. It's about 12 acres. I pasture the rest, well, except for about 5 acres that runs along the river that's on the bluff back over that way on the line. So, but it is real close to the house here. I literally just live, oh, if you go hit the road right here, it's about, well, just 2 driveways up the hill. Within walking distance. It almost meets up at this place at the back. But my dad's home farm, he's got about 30 acres on one side of the road and about shy of 10 on the other side of the road. His 10 acres comes all the way in front of my house across the road. His other patch, it butts up against mine. Just got 5 acres at my house. It's all pretty much woods right now. I started working on clearing it with the skid steer a little bit last winter when it got kind of slow. When the mowing slowed down and everything else. I'm a full-time fireman and mow yards and farm and do a little bit of everything, so stay pretty busy. This summer's been a pretty busy summer with the mowing business. Last year I had somebody helping me. This year I decided to kind of go solo with it. It's been working. It's having to work pretty hard, but it'll get done. We've got about 30 yards to mow. Probably 25, well, 20 to 25 of those are every week, and then there's, I think there's actually about 8 that I do every other week. But we haven't had much slowdown. It's stayed just wet enough around here. It's finally starting to dry up a little and slow down. Our little town that we live by here, we're about right at 4 miles from town. Have their big Heritage Reunion Fall Festival coming up a week from Saturday. Just north of Springfield, Missouri on 65 highway there, Fairgrove, Missouri. And yeah, it's a pretty neat little craft show. There's all kinds of, it's all homemade stuff for the most part. There's good food, good associations like Lions Club and FFA and all that have parking lots and food vendors to raise money, and American Legion, and there's just lots of good things to do to support the community. So this tractor here, growing up, my dad always drove it in the parade they have at the first day of the Saturday of the festival every year. Had a little carry-all that we put on there on the back. I'd always just ride on the back as a kid. Last year with COVID and everything, they were originally going to be able to have it and not have the parade, and then they ended up not even having the whole festival. My grandpa, he's one of the people that kind of started that festival there, and got it all going. And the historical society in the area, there's a old flour mill in town that and it, they do demonstrations on grinding. And when I was still in school, I helped my grandpa there whenever we was putting in the steam engine. They got to run it. They used to have an old tractor there. I think originally it I don't know what they ran on. There's a little creek runs beside it, but it never ran on water. think it ran steam powered, and then it was powered by a Caterpillar, according to my mom's neighbor. She lives just up the road, but he grew up right across the street from it. He said that was his morning alarm clock every day, was that Caterpillar firing up. And they do all kinds of demonstrations there. There's wood carvers, antique tractors, there's all kinds of good stuff going on. But this year I'm going to try and get the carry-all that we have for the back of this little tractor all ready to go, and get this little tractor cleaned up. Take my little boy and wife in the parade this year. Said last year they didn't have it, so I was really hoping to have it last year, because he wouldn't really remember much, but it would have been just a kind of neat to be running the same tractor in the parade. And my dad usually drives his old 79 F-250 in there now that he bought right when I graduated high school. He bought that off a guy, original owner, with like 35,000 miles on it. That was 2006. So it's a real clean truck, pretty sharp. There's usually all kinds of interesting stuff in the parade, and interesting antique tractors, equipment, all that good stuff. But it's September 17th, and it's about 7:40 right now, p.m. obviously. And still got just a little left. I'd say, probably got about 1.5 acres left of the 6 acres to drill. Kind of makes a triangle when it starts getting smaller. It's getting to that point now. The only problem is, when it starts getting dark, it's going to be harder to tell where I'm going. It's already hard to tell anyway, because it's a little dry right now around here. It's been pretty dry for the last month. July, up through July has been pretty good. Down toward the end of July, started drying up a little. Through August, of course, I mean, we can't complain too much. It's been a good year for that. Good moisture, kept moisture for the most part. Hay crops have been decent yield. Last year, I ended up having to try to find some hay towards the end of winter. It got real cold for here for 2-3 weeks. Everything was all froze over. For a week, it didn't get above about 15 for a high, which I'm sure some people that's not even cold, but for this area, that's not real common to stay that way for a long period of time. Had to end up buying some hay last year, or some had to do that to make it through. But last fall got pretty dry, and I was feeding hay by the end of September, and usually I don't have to start feeding till about the end of October. And they weren't going through it heavy, but they were going through it enough, and made it all the way through winter and had 2 bales left. A lot closer than I wanted it to be. This year's been a lot better hay crop, so I won't have to worry about that problem. Stop down here and go over the 4-wheeler, and the rest of this bag of seed that I started pouring in a while ago, get it put in. It'll get me for a little ways. But now we've got the drill set at about, I think about 15 pounds to the acre, which we're going to shoot for closer to 30. Like I said, it's 6 acres. I got 200 pounds of it's a Pioneer conventional alfalfa seed, no Roundup Ready. That stuff's way too expensive, and I don't think it's worth the money when I can plant this twice for the same cost or less than the cost of planting Roundup Ready once. And if you don't have all the stuff to stay on top of spraying it, I don't think it's really worth the extra expense. I'm not looking to grow a lot to pasture or to sell or anything like that, so just enough to get plenty of hay for my cows and keep things up. Maybe sell just a little bit. I got a friend that's got some horses, and I was talking to him today about getting this. Told him I was getting this planted. He said that he might be interested in buying some square bells, get his horses back on that. Said feed's getting too expensive, but everything's getting too expensive anymore. I'm gonna try and figure out a way to get my phone set up here. I don't know how well it's gonna work, but we'll see. Oh, don't mind me dropping you there. Well, that really dropped it. Right in the seed box. It's I'm new to this camera world, video world, YouTube videos. I watch a few. There's a few good farming channels on there that I've found. Never been in the dairy farming world, but there's some good ones, some dairy farms. Generation dairyman. He's got some good videos, along with I believe it's Pennsylvania dairyman, younger guy there. He's got some good videos too. And as you can see, I'm horrible at this since I just knocked the camera off twice. 3 times now, I guess. Just trying to get the seed poured in. Get a little footage of it, but I don't think that's gonna work out too well. Now my phone's trying to focus in on stuff that I don't want it to. This tractor, it's a 6-volt system still. Most people convert them, but we never have with this one. 6-foot system works alright. So we don't really use it much. We use it on a bar rake, raking some. For the most part, we've got a 6610 for a raking tractor. So we use the wheel rake. We've got a newer New Holland 4.75, which is in the shop right now. I don't really know what was going on with it. Most everything we got's New Holland, Ford. Most vehicles are Fords. We've got pretty well all Ford pickups. Oh, a couple of Ford Escapes, you know. That's what my wife's got, and I've got a little runaround car. Escape, older one. I bought a friend of mine's folks, but never moving. But yeah, just about everything on this place is Ford. I've never really been a big green fan. Obviously this is a green John Deere drill, but so we bought it at a farm auction on another farm we used to rent back. I don't even know when we bought it, probably 2000 or 2004 maybe, somewhere in that ballpark. Like I bought it at the farm auction at a farm that we used to rent before the other place I was talking about, which it's also just not very far up the road. And rented that from that older gentleman, and he passed away, oh, it's been several years now, I guess. 97 years old, I believe he was. And he had a pretty nice farm operation, about a 160-acre place. And like I said, about a 160-acre place. Had a big old 5-acre pond, lake, technically. And he'd go out there every evening, just about every evening, feed the catfish. That's a big old catfish in that farm. And he'd catch him a couple of fish about every other day there in good fishing weather, and just fry him up some fish for dinner. Guess that's all for this video. It's about getting too dark for me to really see much anymore, so I'll try and work on getting this uploaded tomorrow. I don't really have internet other than what's on my phone, so it's not super fast, so it takes a little while to upload, but I may try and get it started on an upload tonight and let it do it while I'm going to bed. I know I don't really like watching videos where people say stuff about liking and subscribing and all that. I don't really care what you do. If you want to, whatever, you know, just